This is getting ridiculous. The Boston Celtics fell to the Charlotte Hornets, and fans are outraged at Jaylen Brown's performance, and I have something to say. Quit the hate on Jaylen Brown. Everyone's always here knocking on him for having bad games, but no one praises him when he has the great games. We'll be exploring some trade offers that we saw on Twitter from you guys that you guys think the Celtics should go after, and I got my opinions on this. Welcome back to this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, but before we get into any Boston Celtics news, I would like to say shout out to everyone who's hit the subscribe button and joined the Celtics Digest family. We recently just hit 2,200 subscribers, and we can't thank everyone enough that's already hit that subscribe button. You guys want to make sure you guys stay up to date on everything Boston Celtics, rumors, trades, signings, everything, all that, even some live streams. We're doing some post games and some watch alongs. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we are that place to give you guys this Celtics content. We almost upload daily for you guys, and we'll be providing content all throughout the regular season and playoffs. So make sure to join the family. But let's get into the news at hand. Make sure to grab a snack and get ready for this, as this is going to be a jam-packed episode debating about Jaylen Brown, as I have to say, stop the hate on Jaylen Brown. Everywhere I saw last night on Twitter were fans outraged and so disappointed in Jaylen Brown's performance. And I'm not going to come up here and say that Jaylen Brown played a great game last night. I'm not going to say that. He did not play the greatest game. But these Celtics fans come out here and absolutely hate on our guy, hate on our second superstar when he doesn't perform. But on nights when he does perform, you hear crickets. Nothing is said about this guy. The nights where Jaylen Brown plays good, there is no complaints. But the one night he messes up and slips up, Celtics fans are easy and quick to type to their fingers on Twitter and say, trade this man for legit a bag of chips. And I can't take it anymore. So we're going to be looking at Jaylen Brown's season stats, looking at everything and breaking down how impactful Jaylen Brown has really been for the Celtics team this season, and why Jaylen Brown should block all this negative hate from the fans. Let's look at Jaylen Brown's season stats. Now, if you guys want to look at this, as you guys can see, the Celtics are 11-3. They've played 14 games. Jaylen Brown, unfortunately, had to sit one of those games out and did not play versus the 76ers, so he's only played 13. In those 13 games, there have only been three of them where he has not scored over 20 points. The two recent games versus the Hornets and the Grizzlies, and the other game versus the 76ers. Every other night, he is shooting above 20 points. He's also having great shooting numbers besides those three games. If you see, obviously, 9 from 14, 7 from 18, 12 from 20, 10 from 19. Also good three-pointers in those games. 3 for 5, 2 for 9, not the greatest three-point shooting night from Jaylen Brown, but 3 for 8, 5 for 9, 2 for 7. He's attacking the glass, getting those rebounds, and still being a great facilitator for the Celtics, working on both sides of the floor as well, doing great offensively and defensively, getting those steals and those blocks, playing great transition defense, and I don't want to see this hate coming for our second superstar and our guy that has just got a big contract. Everyone's commenting at those comments. He doesn't deserve the $304 million. He doesn't deserve it. You guys are wrong. Every night Jaylen Brown comes out and provides something for the Boston Celtics. He might not be the greatest offensive player, might not be putting up 25 points a game, but in those nights, he is still having glimpses of some offense and some defense. In last night's game versus the Charlotte Hornets, he did not have a great offensive game, but he attacked the rim with such pace and energy that when he was getting looks at the rim, they were easy for him. Going against a guy in Mark Williams who's a great rim-protecting center and has been averaging a double-double. That is the main reason why the Celtics weren't attacking at the rim last night, and they were just hot from three. Jaylen Brown wasn't, but a guy like Jaylen Brown can have some off nights. We saw Sam Hauser have an off night last night. We've seen Payton Pritchard have an off couple of games to start this season. It can happen. Guys go into slumps. These guys aren't expected to be 25 point per game robots like everyone expects them to be. If you guys want to look at Jaylen Brown's season stats as well, in these 13 games, he's already averaging more points than he did last season at 21 points, 3 more points than he did the previous season, with the additions of Kristaps, Porzingis, and Jrue Holiday in the offense. More firepower in the offense, and Jaylen Brown is still putting up better numbers than he did last year, averaging around 5 rebounds, around the same as he did last season as well, and averaging even more assists, 3.2 compared to 2.3, because he has guys like Kristaps, Porzingis, and Jrue Holiday to pass to. Yes, his shooting numbers have been a little lower, shooting 45% from the field and compared to 47, 34% from 3 compared to 36, and 73% from free throw compared to, he's shooting a little bit better from free throw. But honestly, his numbers aren't that down compared to his shooting season last year, and he had a terrific season for the Boston Celtics, making an All-NBA second team and guaranteeing him that fat contract extension. So I don't understand why all these Celtics fans are coming at him, hating on him when he has these bad games. We just watched a recent game where Jaylen Brown absolutely dominated versus the Toronto Raptors. If we look back at this stat sheet right here, versus the Toronto Raptors on Saturday, he played 36 minutes, had 23 points, shot 9 for 4 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block, and was locking up Pascal Siakam, the leading scorer for the Toronto Raptors, and one of their main focal points on offense versus the Boston Celtics that game. It was Dennis Schroeder and Pascal Siakam a little bit late in the fourth quarter from Scottie Barnes, but those were their main two guys they were playing through, and Jaylen Brown was on Pascal Siakam like it was nothing. He stuck to him so easily, and it looked like Pascal Siakam was going to have trouble late in the game when he had Jaylen Brown on him. Pascal Siakam also had some foul trouble as well, which was effective by Jaylen Brown's defense. If we want to look at some more advanced stats to prove you guys wrong on how great Jaylen Brown is, this is from a website that I took from the Bulls Digest. I want to say shout out to them, where it shows you these advanced stats. These are all the offensive stats for Jaylen Brown, showing where he fits in the percentile compared to the whole NBA. You can see true shooting, he's in the 45 percentile. Obviously, if you look, the only category where he's doing terrible is in the offensive rebound category, where his value is 5. He's in the 20th percentile. He's in the low bottom percentage for offensive rebounds. The Celtics, unfortunately, have not been a great offensive rebounding team. With losing Robert Williams, their best offensive rebounder, it's been tough for them to find a guy to do it. I personally think Oshae Brissett and Lamar Stevens can get the job done, but Joe Mazzulla just has not given them the green light to do it. But besides that fact, Jaylen Brown, crafted with the OPM, is in the top 83 percentile in the whole NBA on offense. So if you want to hate on Jaylen Brown's offense, say he can't dribble, say he can't shoot, say he can't make the right plays, you are completely wrong, because he is in the top 83 percentile in the whole NBA of best offensive players. If we want to look at his defensive stats, you can also see he's not that great at rim frequency, and he's not good at turnovers on defense as well. Defensive rebounding, not the greatest, but he's still a top 57% defender in the NBA. He's a top 50 defender and a top 85% offensive player in the NBA. What more could you ask for from a 2 or 3 superstar on a contending championship team? That's all I want to see. A guy who's giving all his effort on both sides of the glass. And yes, he might not have the greatest offensive night sometimes, but if he can lock up on the defensive side of the ball like he did last night and look pretty solid when his shot's not falling, I think that is superb for the Celtics. Obviously, Jayson Tatum had a great game. Payton, Pritchard, they were hitting their shots, but Kristaps Porzingis was even not hitting his shots, and fans were looking for Kristaps Porzingis to be getting plays run through him when he shot 1 for 8 from 3. Doesn't make that much sense to me. I don't know what these Celtics fans are saying, and we have some tweets to look at. I'm sorry if your Twitter name is in here, because these are outrageous. If we look at these tweets, we can see under Stool Greeny, when he was talking about Jaylen Brown, talk about the 5 for 17 with a negative 23. Say his name once. Tweet about your 60 million golden boy being the reason they lost. For what? Let Jaylen Brown still be on the team. They'll never win a championship. That is just outrageous talk. Jaylen Brown has been an effective Celtic since he's been in Boston and has been a true contender on this team. There's a reason why Jaylen Brown doesn't like a majority of Celtics fans, and it's because of these reasons right here. Fans absolutely clowning him on bad nights, but not praising him on his good nights. I saw no one talk good about Jaylen Brown after that Raptors win, where he was the best player on the Boston Celtics offensive and defensively, but everyone wants to harp on him on Twitter and Celtics Reddit after this big loss to the Hornets. We also have some more pictures of what you guys said on Twitter. This fan thinks that Brad Stevens will move Jaylen Brown for 2 rotational players to help out with the Boston Celtics. Personally, I don't know what that's going to add. As we've seen, the Celtics have had a weak rotational bench, but 2 rotational players to add alongside Jayson Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jrue Holiday isn't necessarily going to guarantee to work, and it depends on what role players you're going to go after. If we want to look at these 2 other tweets, as we've seen, the Bulls have been in recent rumors. This guy, Christina, wants the Jaylen Brown for Zach LaVine trade looking real plausible, and Rosin Eminence says trade Jaylen Brown for Zach LaVine. My favorite part about these 2 tweets is they spelt Zach LaVine both wrong, and they both spelt Zach and LaVine a different way. The first person got Zach right. The second person got LaVine right. No one knows how to spell this guy's name, and you want to trade for him. You want to dump Jaylen Brown. You want to throw all these players. You're going to throw out all these great trades, but you're not even going to get the guy's name right on his spelling? Come on, guys. Celtics fans, you need to chill out on the Jaylen Brown hate. He's still a perennial all-star for this Celtics team. He's going to be a great piece alongside Jayson Tatum. And yes, he has some bad offensive nights where he's not consistent, but so does everyone on this Boston Celtics team. Just Jaylen Brown seems to get the most hate. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Are you guys hating on Jaylen Brown like a majority of the Boston Celtics? Are you guys like me and standing up for our boy when he has bad games? Because everyone has a bad shooting night. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys are still not subscribed to Celtics Digest, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be putting content like this out for you guys daily, and we want to make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.